Hello and welcome to my stamp studio. So today is our first class in our Christmas card online series. Super excited to kick off this series. And I'm going to be doing this, let's see, a couple times. So let me just get my calendar because I forgot to grab it out. So I have these events planned and they are going to go all the way through November. So the next class is going to be September 19th. So it's about every 3 weeks in between each of the classes. Gives you some time to check out some of the products and see what kind of things that you'd like. Also, there's time in between each of the classes so you can place an order. So tonight's class is totally free to watch. If you'd like the class kit, it will be $35, actually a $35 purchase in my online store, and that's before shipping, tax, and stuff. So you place that order and I will automatically send you this kit. So everything is pre-packaged for you. It's pre-cut. Everything is there that you need. And, well, you will need stamps and ink. So, and your adhesive. That's not included in the kit. This is really just all the pre-cut cardstock and everything. And as we start the class, I'll show you exactly what's in it. So I package each of the cards up, and there's 3 cards. You will get 2 of each card, actually. So you'll be getting 6 cards, not just 3, but they're 2 of each 3 design. So this is a sample of what that card kit looks like. And I'll pull them out as we go, and you can see what to expect in your kit. I do have these posted to my online, my page. I will also have these in an email. I thought I emailed this out, but maybe I didn't, but I'll resend an email tomorrow morning. And it will list all the dates of the upcoming classes. Now, I'm not going to always announce what bundle or stamp set we're going to be working with too far in advance. The reason for that is if something goes on back order, I just need to switch it around. So I do have all the ones that I'm going to be doing. It just might change what order it's in. So a couple days before the class, I'll announce what bundle I'll be using. So let me just look over here. I just need to sync everything up here so I can see the feed. There we go. I want to be able to see the comments and turn down the volume because we don't need to hear myself twice, right? Hi, Beth. How are you this evening? I'm just waiting until a couple more people get on. And let's see, let's get this one set. And then I'll share with you. So we're going to be using the Christmas Scotties stamp set and punch today. So let me just show you what that looks like. So this is what we're going to be featuring. Okay, I do have an ordering special, which I will tell you all about during the class. And we'll also be using this awesome little punch that coordinates with one of the little dogs here in the stamp set. And you know what? I forgot to turn my other light on. Let me go turn that on real quick. Hi, Cooper. Watch out. All right. So, I'm going to have to start a new series, too, called Mystery in My Stamp Studio. Because some things just go missing. I don't know what happens. I think the little gremlins come out when I, like, turn the lights off. But things just disappear. And sometimes they reappear. So, tomorrow night, or sometime tomorrow, I'll pop in with a quick little mystery video and share some things with you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and flip my camera down. And so if you get dizzy, close your eyes. Make sure this is all. It's your 41st anniversary? Well, happy anniversary. I didn't know that. I mean, I probably did, but with my mind, I probably just forgot. I'll tell Mike happy anniversary. I wish we could see you guys in person. It'd be so nice to see you. Okay, so what else do I want to talk about? Oh, celebration. So celebration is coming to an end. There's only just a couple more days left. There's 2 days left. So if you haven't taken advantage of that, I urge you to. So if you spend $50 in my online store, you can get something from this catalog. And you'll see which items you can get by this little $50 sign here. I'm going to actually bring my marker in because some of these things have sold out. So I want you to know which things have sold out. So let's see here. This is some designer series paper that we'll be featuring next month in my Rings of Nature card class. Okay, this is sold out. These cards sold out like in the first like week or two. It was amazing. And the tree lots are sold out. There was something else, but I can't remember. Stamp It Up went ahead and added some extra things. So there's the Timbers embossing folder, Flowers of Home dies. Now you can get these dies for free when you spend $100. So if you want the coordinating stamp set that goes with the dies, don't order it as a bundle. Order it separate so you can get that free. The brushed metallic cardstock is sold out. It's not actually sold out, but it's not going to come back until September, so you can't get it now for a free celebration item. All right. But there's the timber embossing, the gingham embossing, which is a great embossing folder for any time of the year. You can even use it for the holidays. So let me just grab it out here so I can show you what those look like. I have those handy right here. And I'm just chit-chatting here until we get some other people online. So here is our gingham embossing folder. Let me put a piece of cardstock in here so you can see what that's going to look like. Let's see, do I have something handy? I thought I did. Here. Oh, here we go. Hey, stop that. All right. So you can kind of see a little bit better what that looks like. Then there is the Timbers embossing folder. So let's pull that one out. I love this one. This is really a great card, great embossing folder for masculine cards and for winter. Well, you can even do it for spring and summer too. But it's got a great wood grain to it. And so you can have it going this way or you can have it going this way. All right. Then we have the seashells embossing folder. And I'm showing you all of this because I don't want you to miss out on the opportunity to get this stuff for free. Okay. And then the dots we saw the other day, but the dots will make this kind of, it's a die and it'll create this pattern. Okay. And then the aspen tree dies. Let me grab that because that is really gorgeous. Hello, Barbara. So this is what I made with the Perched in a Tree and the aspen tree dies. That's what it looks like. Really gorgeous. And I have the craft notes here, the craft box, so you can see what that looks like. Ooh, I think I put it away. I was cleaning up my studio and I put everything away. So let's just see if I have it handy over here. Nope, I don't. Oh, here. Maybe use the craft boxes. Yes. Okay, so this is, they come in a pack like this, and there are 10 boxes in a pack. So it's about 3/4 of an inch tall. So it's about a piece of cardstock, so about 5.5 by 8. Not quite that size, but that's about what it is. Yeah, it doesn't tell us the finished dimension. So, but you get 10 boxes in there, so really fun. Great gift giving. You can put some desserts in there, some cookies in there. All right, we'll go ahead and get all this out of the way and then we'll start our class. I don't need any of these. Now, for the class tonight, we're going to be making 3 cards. In your class kit, you will get 6 cards. You're getting 2 of each design. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to give you a peek at the cards and then, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tease you. I'm going to show you the first one that we're going to do and then I'll go through the rest as we go through the class. Here's our first card. So we're going to be using our Scotties punch and the coordinating stamp set. So this punch here goes with this dog right here. So when you flip this over, you can see that you can punch it out. These 2 do not fit in the punch, just to let you know that. But you can use this with cardstock or you can use it with a stamped dog. Couple tips I'm going to give you right away is I have found StazOn to work the best for stamping a really dark, crisp image. When you use StazOn, you need to make sure that you use some sort of StazOn cleaner. Now this cleaner is a little different than our normal stamping mist. It's a little oilier. Okay, so just want to let you know that. But you do want to have this cleaner. Part of it is your stamps will get stained a little bit. I'll show you some tricks to kind of prevent some of that staining. But if you don't use StazOn, if you just try to use a chamois with water, it's not going to clean that off very well, and it's going to be really darkly stained. Okay, it's not like it'll hurt. It's just a permanent ink, so it will just be there. All right, what else do I want to tell you about? Okay, so the class kit. So you get your class kit just like this, and there's going to be 6 envelopes in here. I only have 3. You get some little extras from me there. I'm not going to share those. Those are a surprise. So you'll get your 6 cards. So you get 2 of each. Everything is going to be cut for you. For example, all the pieces will be die cut and pre-cut for you. The only time I won't do any die cutting or punching is if it is part of the bundle that we're featuring. So I will not be punching the Scotty dog for you or doing any of the stamping for you. That's all on your own. So if you don't have that stamp set and punch, that's okay. You can use something else. The penguins would look adorable. So if you have the penguin place stamp set with the coordinated penguin punch, that would look really adorable on these cards as well. Otherwise, there's like a moose one and a deer one. Those will look just as cute. Okay. Let's see what else I wanted to tell you about that. Yeah, as we go, I'll just share more about it. I will have an ordering special. So when we get to our second card, that's when I'll share the ordering special with you. So let's get started on our first card. I will have all the measurements written up. I'll have a supply list and I'll have instructions. Those will be emailed to you. I won't be printing those and putting them in the kit. Those will be emailed. All right. So when you purchase $35 in my online store, you need to use the host code for today and for this class. And I thought I wrote it down. I did not. So let me just grab a handy dandy little piece of paper here and I can write it down. Okay, we'll grab this piece of fresh freesia right here. It is on my page, so you will see it on my Facebook page. I'll put it in the comments, and this will be uploaded to YouTube, so I will have it in the YouTube description as well. If you're watching it after the ordering period, then you don't have to use the host code. So, today's special. So this ordering special runs from, oh, what did I say it was going to be? Oh, I think I'm going to do it through, let's see, we'll do it, oh, I'm extending it. That's what I was doing. Sorry, I had to think about that for a minute because I knew I extended it because of Labor Day weekend. So, we're going to put September 6th. Now, normally I won't have these run for a full week, but because it is a holiday, I'll go ahead and do that this time. And the host code is really easy, right? Why? Why not? RN9JCC, Christmas card. Why not? I can't think of anything to go with that. Okay, and you can place your order on my online store, and I will have that link for you in the comments. It should actually be on today's video on the screen display. On the little graphic I have is posted there as well. So I'll try to leave that up on top here. Let's see how far I can slide that up. Let me just see. Can you see that okay? It's kind of hard to... I should have probably used a darker color. Oh, I'll plan better for next time. All right, so we'll just put that right there. Okay, let's get started here. And I left my directions, my dimensions in the other room. Hold on. I have everything written down so I can have it ready to go. Okay, so in the tutorial, the color tutorial that will be emailed to you if you purchase $35 by online store, when you get the class kit, I will have the link to it. So you will have a link right here on your label in your baggie here. And that will be the video. But in your tutorial, you'll also have the video link. You will have color pictures. You'll have step-by-step instructions. You'll have a list of supplies we use and all the measurements. Totally worth it. Okay, so we have a piece of Granny Apple Green, and this measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We'll grab our bone folder here and just give it a good press. I have my white envelope. I'm just going to put that aside for right now. I have a piece of basic white. This measures 4 by 5 1/4, and this is going to be for the inside of our card. I have a piece of designer series paper. Now this comes from the Celebrate Everything. This is actually, the only way you can get this paper is when you are a hostess for your own party, and you get this giant pack of Celebrate Everything. There's 48 12 by 12 sheets in here, and so it's pretty much all the different seasons. You can find this in the Holiday Mini Catalog, and it's in the back right here. It's on the last page, on page 87 here, and it tells you all the different colors and everything that are in this kit. You can see kind of a sampler of those. The way that you'd be able to get this is if you place a $150 order, or get a group of friends and place a $150 order. With your host rewards, you can get that for free. But this will all be included, not all of this, but all the pieces that you need to make your cards will be included in your kit. So you're going to get a little sampler of these. So the piece that we're using is this ornaments. And on the back side is this really fun bow. So you can actually make a really cute card with this as well. You can flip this over and use that instead of the ornaments, whichever side you so desire. Okay. So this piece measures 3 inches by, well, that's not the correct measurement there. Well, here I thought I was being pretty smart, and I forgot to write this one down. This is 3 inches by 5.5. So I just want to take my little note here and make sure I update that. I have a strip of Pool Party, and this is a 1/2 inch by 5.5 inches. So this is going to layer right on top of this, just like this. Now, if you're making your own, what you'll want is a 2.5 by 2.5 inch square of Poppy Parade, or something that coordinates with whatever designer series paper you're using. I've already run this through my die cut machine, and I use the Stylish Shapes dies for this. This is really a very versatile die set. It doesn't coordinate with any stamp set, but it goes with every stamp set. So you get your stitch circles, your squares, and your banners. Really and actually a very versatile die set. It was on back order. I'm not sure if it's available yet. I will take a look after the video and let you know. But I think it's back. It's not something that's going away. It's in our annual catalog, so it's not going to disappear. Okay. I then have a little piece of basic white, and this is 3/4 inch by 2.5 inches, and this is what we're going to use for our sentiment. And then I have a piece of, where did it go? It's not in there. I have a piece of basic black here. Let me just grab my scrap, because I didn't have it in that envelope for some reason. Okay. And this doesn't matter. It's just enough scrap for your dog here. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and we might as well just do our dog first, right? Okay. So I'm going to flip this over. I like to punch upside down so I can see where my paper is going when I slide it in there. I'm just going to slide it all the way down, and then I'm going to squeeze it. Make sure you don't get your hands on the side here, because you don't want to pinch yourself. Some people push it down on the table. Some people will actually kind of squeeze this, then they'll flip it over and push down. It's just easier sometimes if you're standing and pushing it down, especially if you don't have a lot of strength in your hands. Okay, so we've got our little dog there. We've got a little extra black bow. We'll just put it right there. I don't need that for this project. I do need my little strip of silver foil. Now, you're going to get a smaller piece than this in your kit, but you'll get enough to make a couple. So I'm just going to slide this in my punch, just where that bow is. Pop that out. Besides, it's kind of fun when you hold it upside down, you get something to pop out and fly up at you. And then we're going to put that right there on our dog. But wait, we're not finished yet. We've got some stamping to do. It's still unavailable. Thank you, Amy, for checking. Appreciate that. Did it say when it was expected back? Usually it'll give a date. I think maybe September 5th was kind of their new dates for things. Okay. What I want to do is I'm actually going to take my pool party here. Let me get a scrap piece of paper for my table. And a little printout that I have. Oh, you don't want to show that. Oh, please, while I find a scrap piece of paper here. I know I have a bunch. I'm just digging in my little garbage can next to me here. Well, I can't believe I don't have a piece of scrap paper. All right. Let me just go grab a piece of paper here. Let's see. I'm just going to grab one for my printer. Okay, I normally have all my old classes or old tutorials printed somewhere, and I'm getting ready to throw them out. I usually keep a couple so I have them. Okay, so on here we can either use Versamark or we can use our Poppy Parade. Okay, I'll show you both and you can figure out which side you like better. I'm going to bring in one of my blocks here, and I want to grab one of my ergonomic blocks just because it works a little nicer. Okay, so that's one of our clear blocks, and that's our clear block D. All right, and I'm going to bring in my stamp set, and we're going to pull out this plaid kind of pattern. Pull this off. Oops, I want to keep my stamp. And I'm going to lift this one up. And we're going to go ahead and put that right on my, stay there, on my stamp just like that. Okay, first things first, let's go ahead, and I'm going to actually be using my paper pierce mat today. I have found that I need to get a nice solid and even pressure when I'm stamping with that black StazOn. So I do want to have that little extra cushion in here. So we're going to do this. We're just going to fold our piece of paper over there. Okay, bring this back in. Do I keep the plastic cover on these? I don't for the Versamark. However, for the StazOn, I definitely do. So what I did is, so I wouldn't lose mine, because I have frequently lost that, I have actually taken a dimensional and put it on the two dimensionals, put it on the lid, and then when I had that plastic insert, and we're talking about this right here, I actually put this on my stamp pad. I had those two dimensionals there, and then when I closed it, now it'll come up every time. So I just always remember to close my ink pad as soon as I'm done stamping. The reason you want to do that, it's a solvent-based ink and it will evaporate very quickly. So I suggest when you get a StazOn pad that you also order your refill right away. You're going to want that. All right, so we're going to ink up our little plaid pattern here with Poppy Parade. Now this is really dark, so I'm going to stamp it off once. Okay, so see how dark that is? And now I'm just going to line up. It's going to be not quite the same size as my square, but that's all right. All right, we'll give it a nice press. Make sure I'm evenly pressed on there. And now you get a very subtle background. Here's what else you can do. Let's go ahead and grab my cleaners here. Oh, I need this. It's my envelope. I'm going to be using one of my old Stampin' Scrubs here because I'm going to end up using my StazOn cleaner in just a few minutes. All right, so let's get this one clean. I'm cleaning this off because I'm going to go over to my Versamark pad now. Versamark pad is a watermark, so it leaves, it gives you the same color as whatever cardstock you're using. So it is a great pad to have if you don't have all the different colors. This is one that if you have it, you have all the different colors. Just saying. So go ahead and stamp this, and you can see both. We'll be using also the Versamark on our Granny Apple Green too. All right. So now as it starts to dry, you're going to see that pattern pop out just a little bit more. Okay, Versamark is also used when you're going to be doing heat embossing. It's a sticky kind of ink. So you stamp, you have a few minutes before it'll dry. So it stays moist long enough that you can sprinkle embossing powder on and then heat emboss. It works great for that. So this is a very, very versatile stamp pad. Okay, so I'm just going to go with my Poppy Parade here. I guess it really doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to bring back in my Granny Apple Green, and what I want to do is I want to stamp the bottom portion here using the little snowflakes that came in here. So we'll pull that off. Now, another tip I'm going to give you is when you're using your Versamark, it is a little, the foam in there is pretty cushy, so you can actually push down really hard. You don't want to do that because when you do that, you will get little images around here. Let me do it on this. So I'll push it in really hard there. Okay. And you're going to get these little, oh, well, that one actually turned out pretty good. You'll get little shadows. And this is the worst part about heat embossing. If you have those little shadows there, you need to make sure that you wipe away all that embossing powder, because what will happen is your embossing powder will stick to it, and then you'll have all these extra ink images that you don't want. So just make sure you don't press down too hard. And that happens too when you first re-ink it. Sometimes it'll do that too. All right, so now I'm just going to take this and I am just going to randomly put my snowflakes. I'm probably going to do 2 rows here just to make sure that wherever it's showing, I've kind of got covered. And if you notice, I'm turning my stamp in different directions. It's actually easier to turn your cardstock. But you know, sometimes I can manage. Okay. All right. So now as it dries, it'll get a little darker. So you'll be able to see it, but it's not really noticeable. It's a nice little subtle way to get your images stamped. All right. So I'm going to put that aside, get my stamp cleaned, and we're going to get to assembling this card because we're going to move on to the next card. All right. Move this pan out of the way. And if you were wondering why I'm using the paper pierce mat or a piece of foam underneath my project, when you're using the photopolymer stamps, they don't have that extra rubber and the extra foam behind it. So you need something to give it cushion. That way you get a nice, evenly stamped image. If you try to just stamp this, sometimes you're lucky, but a lot of times if you stamp without any sort of cushioning underneath, you're not going to get your full image stamped, and you're going to get frustrated. So go ahead, grab a piece of foam, grab a paper pierce mat. I think these are like $5. They're wonderful to have. I don't need that right now though. Okay, let's get to assembling here. So we've got our Designer Series paper, and we've got our ribbon. So I'm going to take some liquid glue here, and I'm going to bring in, I might bring in my silicone mat. I do this when I'm working with liquid glue so that my liquid glue gets on here, and then as you can see, I've got some other glue on there. I can just rub it off. It'll come right off. And we're just going to put some adhesive here. All right. And that's not really what I wanted to do. Don't do that. Put some at the bottom of your Designer Series paper. Right at the bottom, right here. Okay. Good thing I'm using my silicone mat, because then I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to lay this right on top. I like to do this before I actually put it on the card, because that way I know it's going to be lined up just where I need it to be. All right. There we go. Now, liquid glue is, something you have wiggle room with. So just be careful once you figure out where you want it. You don't go back and wiggle it. All right. So we'll put this right on the front, and I'm going right up to that score line, right at the top of the card, just like that. And then we'll just press it down. Make sure it's nice and smooth. All right. I'm going to bring in my little square here. And I think we're going to bring in some dimensionals. We need our little dog here. And again, this was our finished card. So, oh, I've got one more piece of stamping to do. Let me get that done. So this is going to be our little sentiment here. So I'm going to grab my Stays On. And I'm going to grab the Merry Christmas stamp. And we're going to go ahead and stamp that up really well. Now this is a firmer stamp. The material is not as gushy as the other one. I'm going to stamp this right off to one side here, off to the left side. I'm going to press it down. Now, before I go and clean my stamp, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp it off a couple times on a scrap piece of paper. I have found that this does help get that ink off up there. So now let's grab our Stays On cleaner. Grab our mist. Now, again, this is a little oily. It doesn't evaporate as fast. All right. And it has a lemony kind of pledge kind of smell, just so you know. So it has a little bit of an odor. All right. Now we can see is I've got some of that oil right on my block. I will clean that off afterwards when I'm all done stamping. Okay. Sometimes I'll clean it off before. Sometimes I'll just wipe it on my jeans if I'm wearing bad jeans. All right. Or a paper towel. Okay. So now I want to add just something a little more. So this, I decided, was going to be one of our Lost Words Wonderful Snowflakes. So there are, how many in here? There are 24 in this package. So there are laser die cut snowflakes. They don't have any adhesive on it. It's kind of iridescent. And this is, just going to pop this out. Just going to be gentle when you're popping it out so you don't tear it. And it's not like a vellum. It's, it's an iridescent paper. Because this other side you can see it's dull. If you wanted to use that side, you could. So we're going to put this on top of our square. And you just kind of, I put it down first just so I can see where I want to have this in terms of where my dog's going to sit. Because I did this before too. Let me zoom in. It looks like he has something in his mouth, right? So I may want to just turn that just a little bit. I crack myself up. So you're going to have that little thing sticking out somewhere. So just figure out where it makes the most sense to you. All right. We'll try this. Yeah, I kind of like how that looks. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to take my silicone mat again. What did I just do with it? It's full of glue. And I'm just going to grab my mono adhesive here. All right, so now all I did is I took my liquid glue from here and put it into this little dispenser here. And I do that because it's got a very, very fine tip. And I can just dot around. In fact, I should do it on here, not on my cardstock. Just to give it a little bit of stability. I don't need a whole lot because my dog is going to keep it in place. All right. So I decided, was that the way I was going? I don't remember which way I decided. Okay. I can always turn my square too. Okay. There we go. All right. We're going to do it just like that. Now, for the dog, I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. I'm going to use regular size dimensionals. Oh, they're right next to me. right here. Doop. And if I need to, I can cut a piece in half or cut one of the strips and just put it right there. All right, we'll peel those off. And we'll place that right on here. Like that. Okay. Now I'm going to take this and did I do dimensionals on that too? Yep. I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this. Oops. Put this on just like that. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit here. Let's see, I can get this right out. All right, so now I've got my Christmas tag. See how much longer it is? I can actually slide it right in there so I can adjust it to where I want it to be. And I am just going to use liquid glue on that. Okay, so there we go. Let's finish it off by putting our little bow on. And you know what? Because we can, we're going to add another dimensional. So I'm going to add 2 mini dimensionals here to the back of my bow. Oh, it's sticking to me. It doesn't want to let go. And put that right on the dog. There we go. All right, so we got our outside done. Let's get our inside stamped and we'll have this card finished. All right, so here is my inside. And what I'm going to take on that is I'm going to stamp one of the dogs. So let's bring in our mat again. So I'm using a combination of both the punch and the stamps. Now we're going to grab the little dog that's sitting right here. It's being a good puppy dog. And we'll grab another block. And I'm going to take my stays on. And I am really going to make sure that that is completely inked. Okay, so you can see I don't have any clear spots on there. I'm going to stamp it over in the lower right corner. And I'm going to make sure that I press all around, because I really want that ink to stay on there. Now you don't want to leave your stamp on your paper too long because it kind of sticks when it pulls up and you don't want to tear your paper. Again, to help me clean my stamp, I'm going to stamp that off a couple of times. And I'm going to clean it right away with my Stays-On cleaner here. And it will stain a little bit. That's not too bad. If I think I can get more off, I can spray. Now, sometimes I'll do that with my background stamps. I sprayed that in my mouth. Yum. Do not spray near the face. Okay, so it came a little cleaner, but it is going to stain. It's going to discolor. But that's not going to come off. You've cleaned it really well. It's not going to come off on other projects. If you're worried about it coming off on another project, what you can do is you can take an old yellow stamp pad, stamp it in the yellow and stamp off. For some reason, yellow tends to pull that off if there's any residual on there. So I have an old yo-yo yellow sometimes that I'll use, and I'll stamp that just to make sure it comes off. All right, but back to our card here. And actually, I need to get a little bit of water because that stuff tastes awful. Okay, now I want to take my Poppy Parade. We're going to pull in another sentiment here. And this time I have the May Your Days Be Furry and Bright. Such a cute stamp set. This would be great if you are maybe you own a dog spa, or maybe you have a dog walking service, or you work for a vet. These would be really fun cards, or maybe you're a dog trainer. Just send out to your customers. Ooh, okay, don't do that. So here's a trick. I had this little mono eraser. It has to be an ink eraser. And sometimes, if you gently rub, you can get some of the ink off. And sometimes you can't. Oh, that looks pretty good. Ah, no one's going to notice because I'm going to write something on that card anyways, right? Or worst case is take another stamp and stamp something on there. All right, let me just get this clean. All right, and we'll get this adhered to the inside of our card now. Well, that's my finished one. I'm just going to grab my seal just to be fast. You can stay with mono adhesive, the liquid glue. Use whatever your glue adhesive preference is. If I think there's a good option for when I'm creating the cards, I'll let you know that. So a lot of times when I'm using 3D projects or making 3D projects, I use a Seal Plus and the tear and tape just because it's a much stronger adhesive. Okay, so that is our first card. So you will be getting the supplies to make both cards. All right, next, let's get out our second card here. And I'm going to show you the inspiration that I had for these. I was actually in a card swap, and I got a lot of inspiration from some of the cards that I received. So I'm not going to take credit that I came up with these all on my own. I'm in a really large group of demonstrators that we exchange ideas every time there's a new catalog. So it really is nice. And it depends on how many you send in. So I usually send in about 60. So I get 60 different ideas back. So I make, you know, I'll usually make 20 of each card. And then I get into different groups and all that kind of stuff. But part of being a demonstrator is you get to join groups like that. And you get to learn and share different ideas from other demonstrators. So sometimes you get it out of your own little box. Okay. So this is our next card. It almost looks like a bookbinding card, right? But it opens the other way. So I'm going to show you how to make this one. So in your kit here, you got your envelope. Oh, we didn't stamp our other envelope. Well, we'll stamp that later. Okay. So in your kit, you've got a piece of garden green. And this measures, get my little notes. This garden green here measures 3 by 3. I have a piece of black square. This one measures 3 1/8 by 3 1/8 because we're going to be layering that just like this. I then have a piece of garden green cardstock. This is 4 1/4 by 11, and we're going to score it in multiple places. So I'm going to go ahead and once I go through the other paper measurements, I will tell you where I scored at. I have a piece of designer series paper. This should be cut down to be a 4 by 4 square and then a 1 inch by 4. So you'll have to do that in your kit. You'll get a piece that you'll need to cut down. And then I have a black strip that's 1 inch by 3 inch, a white strip that's 3 3/4 inch by 2 3/4 for a little mat. And then you'll have a scrap here to stamp your dog. And also you have a punch that you'll need to do for the inside. So let's do our punch right away. So the punch I'm using to make my inside is this decorative circle punch. So I'm just going to punch that. Okay. We're going to be using our snowflakes again. And I told you that I was going to tell you what our ordering special was. If you place a $50 order in my online store using this host code, then I am going to gift you a package of these snowflakes. And that will come with your kit. All right. So usually the kits will ship out about, you'll probably have it within about 2 weeks from the class. Because I have to order some of the supplies and then get it all cut and shipped to you. Most of the supplies are already cut, but some, like the snowflakes and stuff like that, I do have to put an order in for because I can't carry that in stock. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll score this and then we'll do our stamping. So now we're going to be scoring this. Let's move our pieces here. We're scoring this at 4.5. Oh, that's not right. 4.25. Yeah, 4.25. Okay. And then I'm going to flip this around and I'm going to score it at 1.25. Like that. So if you're doing it, the first score would be 4.25, and then I'd slide it all the way down to be 9.75. Otherwise, 4.25 from this side, 1.25 from this side. Right. I'll have one of the scores done for you only because I need to do that to be able to fit it into the bag. All right. So grab our bone folder again here. Give this a nice crease. You want those two to meet just like that so they don't overlap because you want that to be able to open. I'm going to put this aside because I need to do some more cutting. So I'm going to take my Designer Series paper. Now this is 4 inches wide. So the next thing I have to do is I need to cut this at 4 inches. So I have a 4x4 square. All right. And then I'm going to cut 1 inch. So the piece that you'll be getting will be 5x4. So you'll just have to cut down your 1 inch. All right. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and layer this right here. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my seal. Now, if you like the other side, you could use the other side too. You could switch around your paper, use a different color cardstock. All right, so I'm going to just put that one right here, center that right in the middle. I'm going to take this strip. That right along here on the bottom. Just going to center that. Oh, come on. Sometimes, sorry, I had to concentrate on getting that flat because it was sticking to my fingers and the cardstock. Okay, there we go, just like that. Now, the next very important piece to this. And I tell you this specifically because I forgot to do it when I first made my card. I'm going to take my garden green here, or actually I'm going to use we'll use real red. This is actually ribbon. It's real red and garden green. It comes as a 2-pack. And there's 5 yards on each of the spools here. It's in our mini catalog. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tie a bow. Now notice I didn't adhere that down yet because I want to have my bow on first. Oh my goodness, come on. That flap keeps sticking up and is challenging me when I'm trying to make this bow. Of course, I didn't have it long enough. Hold on. I like to leave my ribbon, I don't cut it right away for my bolt when I'm doing this, because that way I find I don't waste as much. Sometimes I will, I'll have one tail too long, but pull that really tight. There we go. All right, now let's grab our ribbon scissors and we'll give that a sorry, I didn't realize I went off camera here. Give that a trim. We'll angle this side here. And now let's go ahead and get that centered. Okay. Now going back to the front of our card. Now I'm going to adhere this down. I didn't want to do that before because I couldn't have tied my ribbon around there. It would have looked kind of funny going around the back. But I will show you, in case you forget to do that piece, I will show you what you can do to fix that boo-boo. All right. We're going to finish our card first, and then I'll show you the boo-boo recovery. Okay. Yes, and if you've ever watched me before, I do a lot of boo-boos, and I will help you hide your boo-boos too. Okay, now the fun part about this card, was so excited to use this. I'm going to pull in our Whimsical Woodland die embossing folder. This is in our mini catalog. So look how cute this folder is. I mean, it's adorable, right? So we're going to bring in our Big Shot, or sorry, our cut and emboss. Old school is Big Shot, but I need the big guy. So we're bringing in the big guns. Because this is a 6x6 embossing folder, I need to have the larger plates here. And what did I do with my plates? Whoops. I'm trying to get... My chair is stuck on my table, sorry. I couldn't get loose. I had my plates out earlier. Where did I put them? Here we go. All right, so I'm going to use my number 1 plate and my number 4 plate. So we'll take our piece of garden green and just center that wherever you want. I'm going to run that through. You know, find the place on the embossing folder that you like best for your little trees. And we are going to use this again. It's not a one-time deal here. This is so cute. Look at that. I love it. So this is the emboss side. This is the deboss side. You can choose whichever side you like. I kind of like this one. Just, I don't know. It just, to me, stands out more. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some of my liquid glue. And we're going to just make sure we get enough on there so our edges don't come loose and that it sticks in all the cracks and crevices. Okay. All right. Now, bring in our card base. I'm going to center that right on here. And I am just going to go ahead and glue that down. I'm not going to pop this one up. I know, it's a shock. It's okay. All right. So let's see. So I'm going to try to go back to some of the comments here. Hello, Ben. Welcome. Hi, Becky. I don't know if I had a chance to say hi earlier. Hi, Colleen. Okay. And let's get to our stamping now. So the next thing I want is that scrap piece of white that I had. I need my little punch shape. And I'll bring in my mat again. All right, so we're going to stamp our sentiment. This time the colors that we're going to use are going to be Real Red and Garden Green. So I've got my Real Red here. Actually, I think I'm just sticking with Real Red. Yep. Garden Green will be our next project. Okay. So let's get our Real Red. Let's get our sentiment here. Put this back in our... I was being so organized and I kind of just started to get unorganized by having all my stuff migrate to the side of the table. Not what I wanted. All right, stamp set. Here we go. Okay, may your days be furry and bright. Well, I'll need Merry Christmas too, so I might as well pull that out. Okay. We'll get Merry Christmas on this block. May your days be furry and bright on this one. And we've got our stamp cleaner right here. Move my trimmer out of the way. Okay, we're going to take our Real Red. Now, if you're wondering why I'm going all over my stamp pad, I have a little dry spot in the middle, and I didn't re-ink this before the video. So I'm going to my outer edges of my stamp pad because as stampers, we almost always use the middle of our stamp pad. So go on the outsides every once in a while, especially when you have like a sentiment. And then we'll take the clean side of the paper and just give that a good rub. There we go. All right, so we've got that one done. I do like to put my stamps away as soon as I'm done stamping because if you've watched me before, you know what happens in my stamp studio. Mysteries happen. Things disappear. Stamps are kidnapped. They don't show back up for ages or like after the stamp set's been retired. Okay, so now I'm going to take Merry Christmas and I'm going to stamp it on the lower portion of my decorative circle. Clean that off. And I can close this. That's it for the stamping for right now. Oh no, I have one last thing to stamp. We have to stamp our dog. So let's grab our StazOn and let's grab the dog that we can punch out. So the dog that we're going to be grabbing is this one. Put that on our block. And so again, you can use the punch to punch out the dog with a stamped image or out of paper. Well, what is on my... There we go. There is something right on my... Oh, man down. Okay. Well, I'm hoping that will work out. Okay. Let's just take this and stamp it right over here. And again, I'm just pressing all the way around my image. I don't want to leave it stick too long because notice how the paper is coming up with that? Yeah, I thought there was something on my stamp. All right. I'm going to flip this over. And we're going to clean this off right away. Some sort of like a little lint spot or something on there. All right. I'm trying to clean this again. I'm just looking in the light to see if it's gotten clean. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to grab a little Kleenex here. Maybe not. I had little Kleenexes out earlier. Here we go. I usually have some paper towels in here, but I took them out. So I'm just trying to dry up that black a little bit. Because when I was really scrubbing to get whatever that was off, it got everywhere. Okay, let's get this stamped again. So you can see through your block. So I'm just lifting it up and looking, kind of tilting it in the light to see where I maybe didn't get a nice ink setting on there. And so now I have it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Cover that. Nice press. There we go. Okay. We'll get that cleaned. And we'll grab our punch and punch out the puppy dog. Now, when I saw this in the catalog, I'm like, oh, that's so stinking cute. I'm like, no, 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 you're not going to get it, Beth. You're not going to get it. I had to argue with myself for quite some time. And I actually held off getting it. And then I got all the swap cards. I'm like, oh, fine, I've got to get it. All right, so we're going to just go ahead and get all this stuff mounted now. So let's take our adhesive, run that along here. Let's go ahead and put that there. I'm gonna, what did I have on my fingers? Okay. We're gonna try that again. I had something on my hand. And I believe I have my hand sanitizer somewhere here. Thought I brought it out for myself. I guess I did not. Okay. So I just got to get the ink off my hand here to make sure I don't get it everywhere else. You know, this only happens on live because I did this card twice already and I had no issues. I don't know if it's just I'm more of a hurry, or if I'm nervous. I don't know what it is. You'd think by now I wouldn't be nervous, right? Okay. Well, it's good that they have more paper that I can use. I can just put that right over the top because it was the same. I did it again. It's on my thumb. Okay, I'm going to hide that. I'll show you how. All right, let's get our dimensionals. We'll put that right here. And okay. Now, I want to give him a little collar. I'm not going to put a bow on him this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just grab my marker. So it's a real red marker. You can grab a blending pen, a blends. And I am just going to color in his collar. Just like that. We're going to grab dimensionals. Put that right on the card front. Okay, now let's figure out a way we're going to hide that, and then we'll do the inside of the card. So I have got some extra embellishments here, and I was planning on using these, so it's not a shocker. So I've got the red rhinestones, and I've just got basic rhinestones here. We're going to be using the red rhinestones, and I'm going to grab my Take-A-Pick tool, and I'm going to pick one up here, and I'm going to put it right there. Kind of distracts from what's there, and I don't want to put it down there. We'll put it right there. Okay, so that is the outside of our card. Let's get to the inside here. For the inside, I wanted to change this up just a little bit, and instead of putting a white card base, I went ahead and I'm going to grab one of these snowflakes. So again, if you want a pack of these snowflakes, place a $50 order in my online store. You're going to get the card kit and a pack of these snowflakes for free. That's my thank you to you. All right, just like that. So we'll bring in our mat again, and I'm going to grab in my little adhesive bottle, and I'm going to put some liquid glue right in the middle, and then I'm just going to kind of dab along here. I want to make sure that I don't get too much glue, because when I close my card, I don't want it to be sealed for good. You can take a sponge or a sponge dauber and put your glue in a little circle there, and then daub it on there, but this is just as good. All right, so I'm going to put my snowflake right there. I'm going to take that and put that right there. Oh, you know what? I want to actually lift this up. Maybe I can still lift it. There we go. I was like, why did I stamp that lower? That's because I was doing this. So let's go ahead and grab my adhesive on here real quick. I'm going to slide that underneath. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Just like that. Okay. So my original, I forgot to tie my ribbon around. So all I did is went ahead, I made a knot, and I used a glue dot to attach my little knot there. You can tie a bow and just attach it with a glue dot too. So just two different ways you can do that. All right, that's card 2. All right, so now we're on to our last card, and I think this is one of my favorites. Now this one I made, trying to see if I made it identical to the card swap I had, or if I changed it up. In your kit, it's going to be identical to my cards, the card swap I got. This is the one I did with green. I wanted to see how it would look with that green. So here's how it is with the green. Isn't that cute? So I'm going to show you how to make that one. So we're going to start with a piece of smoky slate. We then have a piece of basic black, and the smoky slate is 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. My basic black here is 1/8 inch smaller, so that is 2 7/8. I'm sorry, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Sorry, I couldn't get the math done in my head all of a sudden. Okay, so it's just an eighth smaller. Right, and then we have our basic white, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. So just a smidge smaller as well. Right, that'll be our inside. Then I have a piece of basic black. This measures 2 7/8 by 5 3/8. I have a piece of designer series paper, and I'll show you what designer series paper this is in a minute. This is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. I then have a scrap of the designer series paper. We're going to punch the dog out of this scrap. I have a scrap piece of silver foil. And then I have a basic white square that is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And I ran this through the embossing folder as well. So since we already did that, I don't have to show you again. And my other piece here is another piece of smoky slate. This is 3 inches by 3 1/2, and I've scored it at a 1/2 inch. So we're going to do this real quick. Give that a good burnishing right there. Now, before I get started on assembling the card, I'm going to show you this designer series paper that we're using. I love this. This is with the Cottage Wreath Suite, and that is our class to go for October. Okay, so you get this huge, and this is a huge pack that you can purchase. It's Gingham Cottage. Everything is this gingham kind of color. So you've got your soft saffron. And so one side is one color, and then you've got the large checks. So just all sorts of different ones. There's soft suede, there's pumpkin pie, there's smoky slate, there's basic gray, there's black, there's orange and black, pumpkin and black. And there's Poppy Parade, there's Mint Macaron, Garden Green, all different colors. But it is a huge pack of paper. And that is in the mini catalog. I believe it's, I want to say it's $18 maybe. Okay, so now let's grab our piece of basic black. That is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. I'm going to take my, well, that didn't cut very straight, did I? I'm going to take my piece of smoky slate here, my 3 by 3 smoky slate. And it doesn't look like I cut it very straight. I want to grab a different piece there. That was just a scrap I had on the side, so I think maybe that's why I threw it on the side, because it wasn't cut straight. All right, so 3 by 3 1/2. Here's my 3 inch by 3 1/2. And then I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch. Okay, give it a good press there. We're going to take some adhesive. Now I'm actually going to pull out the Seal Plus. My tip on Seal Plus, go slow. Let it catch the paper. Because sometimes if you try to whip this through really fast, it'll pull up the paper. So it leaves these little adhesive tabs. Super strong adhesive. Great for 3D projects and something that's going to be open and closed a lot. So I'm just lining this up. Just kind of getting it centered. It's a little off center, but that's all right. Okay, so I have that here. I'm going to get some other pieces cut here, because what I need to do is I need to actually take off 1 1/4 inch from the side here. So 1 1/4. Right. So this piece is actually 7.5 by 5.5, right? No, it's going to be 7.25 by, I can't add tonight or subtract. And I wrote down even the wrong one. So it's 7.25 by 5.5. The reason I did that is so that these other pieces will layer on here, just so. So they're 1/4 or 1/8 inch smaller. Right? So we can go ahead and adhere all these pieces on. Since I have my Seal Plus, I might as well just go ahead and use that. This piece on first. I'll take my Designer Series paper and flick at the end too to get it to kind of break its adhesive run. Right. So got that there. We'll go ahead and adhere this piece down as well, since we're right here. And I am putting a good amount of adhesive along that side, because that's going to be opened and closed quite a bit. All right. All right. So if you notice, this doesn't go right to the edge. That's totally fine. That's the design. It's fine. Now, I have my piece of black here somewhere. Well, I thought I had my piece of black. I just showed that, didn't I? Okay, I need a piece that is, I don't know what I do with it. Let's see, do I have an extra piece over here? So 2 7/8. I don't think that's 2 7/8. Nope. All right, well, I don't know. I must have dropped it. Again, mysteries happen here in my stamp studio. So we'll just go to a little scrap box below and grab out a piece of basic black here. And we'll cut that down to be 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. Wow, this one you get to see actually the whole card assembly instead of just assembling it, hey? Okay, so here's my 2 7/8. 2 7/8. All right, and this we're going to adhere right on here. So grab my adhesive again. How much pressure do you apply when stamping my image? You know, I've never pulled out the meter to determine that. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that, Beth. I just pushed down. Okay, and now we have our embossed piece of Whisper White that we're going to put here with our little forest. So we'll go ahead. I'm going to use liquid glue for that because, again, it's got all the little ridges and valleys. We want to make sure that's going to stay stuck. All right. So here we go. Now I need a piece of a small little strip of basic white here. And we'll just use this right here. So this is just a scrap that I have. You'll be getting this piece with your a portion of this. You'll be getting some of this with your kit. And I want to stamp my sentiment on there. And I also want to stamp my here it is. This is what I was looking for. We're not going to stamp our dog. We're going to punch our dog out. So this is the first one I punched, and I'll show you what I did there. It's not that I don't like it. You can use either side. It doesn't matter. So on the one side here, when I put in my dog like this, if I had my image up, if I had, you know, the one side up, I'll get diagonal, and on the other side I'll have straight. So depending on which direction you want your dog in, I like to stamp them both ways. This would make a cute card too, if you had two dogs like this. Just saying. Okay, let's just pick one. You want your dog kind of facing the opening of the card. So I thought, I kind of like that one. It doesn't have to be all plaid. It can be diagonal plaid. Right. Got my little extra bows there. We're going to punch a bow out of our silver. And I had the other piece. I just keep using the same piece here. And this is about 1 inch wide, just so you know. Put that in someone's kit. We'll have it out there. Okay, so now I need to grab, we'll be using this ribbon this time. I need to grab my ink. And this time we're going to be using Real Red and Garden Green. So here's our Real Red. Let me get some of this stuff out of my way. We'll need one of our snowflakes. And here's our Garden Green. Okay, let's stamp first, and then we'll get to the other. We'll get to the good stuff afterwards. So we're going to stamp our sentiment here in Real Red. Right, so I'm just going to stamp Mary. And I stamped it partially off, so my Christmas was kind of off. And then I'm going to do Christmas over here. And don't worry, we're going to be trimming that out, so you're not going to see that excess stamping. I'm going to grab, actually, my longer scissors to do this with. So I'm going to cut this right at the edge here. And then I'm going to trim just underneath so I can get rid of those letters down below. This is why I like to use the longer scissors, because I'm able to get a straighter cut, because I can't cut straight. So this is why my long scissors, my large scissors, come in handy. And there we go. All right, we'll get that out of the way because I want to stamp the inside of my card. And the inside of my card is where? Right here. So this piece of basic white is, like I said earlier, 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to turn it this way to stamp. I'm actually going to turn my whole pad here. And on here, we'll bring our Real Red in, and we're going to grab our longer block, because we're going to grab that ribbon piece. And we're going to get a continuous ribbon, and I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, so let's get this inked up first. Now, I do want my little loopy here to be kind of in the middle. So I am going to just stamp that right there. All right. Now, I'm going to flip this around. I'm going to ink up this portion of it. Now, because I didn't go all the way to the top here, I want to cover a portion of my cardstock. So I'm just going to fold my paper there. And now I'm going to connect that ribbon with the top of this one, so you can see through your block. There you go. And ta-da! Let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment. Again, I'm just using the same sentiments over and over. You can change it out if you have different sentiments from a different stamp set. If you like, you can change that out. Oops. Here's the sentiment that I need. Yeah, the sentiments that come with it are, you are always loved, Merry Christmas, woof, and may your days be furry and bright. And I want to stamp this in, you know, we're going to stay with red. I decided I don't even want Garden Green on this one. We're just going to stay with the red. You could use any other color. You could use cherry cobbler. You could use, you know, shaded spruce. What other color, whatever color you would like. So I'm just going to Stamp that there, hoping it's straight. Okay, get our, let's put away. Let's put this on the inside of the card first, and then we'll decorate the outside. So liquid glue, seal, Seal Plus. Right. I've got messy fingers today. All right, now we're gonna put a little doggo on the front. Here we go. And we're gonna take our little bow. This time, instead of using the red holiday rhinestones, we're going to use our basic rhinestones, which are like a silver. We could use the red on here. It would look really cute. I'm gonna use the silver. And we're gonna pop him up in dimensionals. We're gonna pop our sentiment up in dimensionals. So I need to have my mini and my regular. So let's get our dog on first. I found it's easier to put the dog on first and then add your sentiments, because that way you can get them placed where you need them to be. All right, so I'm just going to put him right in the middle, right there. We'll grab our small mini glue dots, or mini dimensionals, and put those on the back of our sentiment. We'll put one, our bow is just going to be adhesive on there. I'm just going to put a dot of liquid glue. All right. So I've got Mary. So I'm going to center that. That looks good. And then Christmas. There we go. We'll go ahead and take a little dot of glue right here. Maybe. Now, if you had glitter paper, that would look really cute too. All right. I'm going to go ahead and add my rhinestones, and then we'll add our ribbon, and this card will be done. So let me grab my Take a Pick tool again. And I'm going to put a small rhinestone right on his collar. And one here. You know what? I don't want that one here. I'm going to put that one here. I'm going to put a large one over it. Where'd it go? Large one over here. All right. Now, let's bring in our snowflake and our ribbon. So you'll be getting one sheet of this in your kit, because you'll need 6 snowflakes for your cards. All right, and again, I'm just going to put my, try this one with my doo-doo-doo. Make sure I don't put it in the other sticky stuff here. Okay, both of my glue things have a little glue stopper there. Ugh. So my glue dried in there and couldn't cover it up. Okay, we'll try this one again. We'll just have to be very careful. Yeah, like that wasn't very careful. So I'm just dabbing here from the middle, just like good enough to hold it in place. And I'm going to put this right here. All right. We'll take our ribbon. And I'm going to tie my bow right in the, well, let's see. I'm just deciding if I want my bow on top or if I want it on the bottom. Let's put it up here. If I don't like it, I can slide it down. I would say it'd be nice to have music in the background when I'm doing this. I know there's been other demonstrators that have had music in the background. I don't know how they get past the... Oh, you know why? Because it's on YouTube. That's probably why. Because you can get licensed free music on YouTube. Okay. So there is this card, and you can just slide your ribbon out. There we go. So let's bring back in each of the cards. Get some of my mess kind of cleaned out and out of the way. Just need to put my, oops. Sorry, my phone is plugged in because I didn't realize how low on charge I was when I started. So I had to plug that in. And now it's just kind of causing an extra layer of having to move things that I wasn't expecting. Okay, so again, this is our third card. This is originally the one I made, and my inspiration came from this card. I wish I would have kept my envelope. I don't know who gave this to me. She did a great job. That's why I cased it. So if you're watching, thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm so sorry I don't have your name. So that's the only difference is I changed up the ribbon, and instead of using the glitter paper, which I didn't have, I swapped it out with my silver. So the ones that you will be getting is this right here. All right. Then this is our first card. Okay. And my inspiration actually came from Linda Cullen, and this was her card. So I just decided to add, make it a little brighter, add some snowflakes. You do not need that set. Yeah, good luck with keeping and trying to say that, because obviously I couldn't even avoid getting it. Okay, sorry, I had to take a little sip. Now, if you had the penguins, think how cute that would be. I will, once I get everything written up and posted on my website, maybe tomorrow evening, I will make one up with a penguin so you can see what it would look like with a penguin, because I'm pretty sure it will still be darn cute. All right, and then our second card that we had made was this right here. Again, first card was a boo-boo because I forgot to wrap my ribbon around. I do like this one better. I just like, as my husband said, every card needs a little red. Okay. And I got this idea from Linda McGrew. So here was her sample. She actually used the little enamel dots, the enamel liquid stuff, and made little dots. So I decided to make it more Christmassy and festive and use the Celebrate Everything Designer Series paper. So thanks for watching class 1 in our Christmas card class series. And the next class will be on September 19th. Yeah, September 19th. If you purchase $35 in my online store, you're going to get the supplies to make 6 cards. Everything that we made will be in there. So you'll be getting 2 of the green, 2 of the gray, and this. So you'll be getting the pieces of ribbon that you need. You're only going to get enough ribbon to make your cards. I'll include the little embellishments there. So you'll get 6 of each of the little rhinestones. And I will give you the 6, the one sheet here of snowflakes. But if you really like the snowflakes and you want more, you can purchase $50 in my online store. You'll get the card kit just like it is, all 6 cards with this and everything else with the envelopes. And I will also gift you a pack of this. And these snowflakes, again, there's 24 snowflakes in the Wonderful Snowflakes. So that will be my gift to you for any $50 online purchase. My online store, that is before shipping, handling, tax. You need to use this host code because that's how I can be able to give you all free items. So thanks again for joining. Hope you enjoy it. I will be uploading this to YouTube so you can watch it again. I know sometimes it's hard to find the videos on Facebook after they've been live. so it will be up on YouTube and I will post it out. Now, if you're not a part of my email list, make sure you subscribe to my email list. That way you'll get notified of when I'm going to post these, where I'm posting these, how you can find them, and whatever specials I have. So, well, that's it for tonight. Let's see, Wednesday is Hump Day lunch break. Not sure what I'm going to come up with. You know, I may just come up with that penguin card for lunch day hump break. That might be an idea. Okay, and then Thursday night is our third week in the farmer's market. And we're going to have some really fun 3D projects for that. So we will see you then. And don't forget that Wednesday is the last day of celebration. So if you want free things and you actually put an online order in today or tomorrow or Wednesday, you're going to get the card kit. Use this host code. You are going to get the snowflake embellishments from me. And Stampin' Up! Is going to give you one of the celebration items. So keep that in mind while you're thinking about shopping. And yes, this stamp set is really too darn cute to pass up. You don't have to have a lot of tools. You don't have to have anything else because it comes with a punch. And when you bundle the two together, so when you buy the stamp set and the punch, it's 10% off. So thanks for joining me. Have a great day, and we'll see you later this week. Bye.